Hi all. Right, I'm still here. DD at Saipan. Um, this will be part 21 if I can keep it going. Yeah, okay. Just come back. Same night as I just recorded part 20 and got quite frustrated near the end. So I've been away. I had something to eat, a couple of drinks, calmed down a little. Um, Yeah, maybe I started getting a bit heavy on things there. Um, Obviously, found out that there was reference to the reinforcements coming from either, but that really wasn't the. I suppose I maybe mentioned that wrongly, of course. Okay, and yeah, I can get things wrong. It's not all. Um, I'm not trying to say I'm getting. I'm telling you how everything should be and this isn't right, that's not right. There's issues here. There's issues, and I think it's mounting up. It's mounting up. I have been putting in a bit too much of it over the last couple of days, 2 or 3 days. To be honest, I've had the chance to play, and like I think I said before, it's a bit more complex game than the previous games. Bigger stacks, you can see, I've spoken about this before. I like to keep things neat and tidy, make it look nice, but you've got big stacks, you're looking underneath to try to find things, and then a wee rule comes along and niggles you a little bit, and sort of you start shaking your head, wondering, whatever, and maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. Um, I don't know though. There's definitely some issues. So anyway, let's get. Well, what are we doing? Well, I think what I do is I would like to complete the scenario. You know, um, as for completing the scenario, we're not quite sure of the goals of the scenario, or so there is that. So we're going to take guesses with that a little bit. I've already said what I'm going to do. We're looking at that line. Um, I very much doubt I'm going to achieve 24 victory points, and that's assuming we're at the right line. But what I'll try and do is uh, see if we can get the 15, and then maybe when we do get some answers back from Joe, um, we can see if the 15 was enough to achieve a carry on. Uh, Again, I'm not so sure I'm going to carry on, so I guess the 15. If you're looking at the the first scenario, 15 between 15 and 24 points is a draw. Um, I'll settle for trying to get a draw right now. So between there now and that happening, we shall see. If there's some flurry of feedback that explains everything and starts smoothing things out a bit, then who knows? We might. Because I like the game. Yeah, I like it. Who could not? I mean, this is one of the D-Day at Tarawa. I mean, I've not been in the hobby that long, 8 years or so, and to be honest, war games only came into it maybe. Well, actually, they came into it quite early, but board games was a new thing to me. I played computer games all my days, and was into computers from when I was 16 or whatever, when there was the Spectrum and the Commodore and all that. And yeah, some people probably watching don't even know what they are. Yeah. um, and then yeah, so kind of you would think you would go the other way from board games onto computer games. That's a progression. Well, I went the other way, but yeah, I liked it, and yeah, D-Day. Well, I like to say Tarawa. I got the first game Tarawa, and I had 2 or 3 war games before that. Conflict of Heroes was one of the early ones that I had. Thunderbolt Apache Leader, I remember. I love them. Conflict of Heroes, I'd be quite tempted to do a playthrough of that. There's 2 or 3 games that I've got lined up that I'd like to look at and possibly more tactical level Conflict of Heroes. There's the Heroes, what is it? Heroes of Normandy, the Lock and Load stuff. They brought out a solo version of that, which was meant to be similar to Conflict of Heroes. It just didn't do the same. What I tried to do was too much, I think. I don't know if I've talked about this stuff before. I may have done. I'm not quite sure what I'm talking about now, but and the DD games I found out, solo war games, Hex Encounter, card driven. I love cards. I love that. No dice rolling in this at all. I'm not really fussed about dice rolling, and just appealed so much. Omaha was so hard to get hold of then at the time. Couldn't get that. Managed to get Tarawa. Did I get that new? No, I think they've all been second hand. So got that. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant game, but where am I going with this? Loved it. Loved the system. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to say how I like this game. I want it to shine. I want it to be the next. Well, I wanted Iwo Jima. I bought Iwo Jima. I've got them all. Bought Iwo Jima as well, because I thought that was the next thing in line, and new designer. Step up. Okay, big shoes to fill. But adding some stuff and making it a bit more modern maybe, and you know, not that I'm saying Mr. Butterfield stuff is like, you know, old and past it. Not at all. You can't say that. I mean, we've just had Enemy Action Kharkov, absolutely amazing game. Brilliant follow up to Enemy Action Ardennes. People wondering what hoping for another one in the series. It's been talked about. Market Garden's been hinted at. The unfortunate part is there was about 6-7 years in between Enemy Action Ardennes and Kharkov, so you're going to be looking at the same, aren't you? I might not be here then, you know. I hope I am. I hope I can sit down and do a playthrough of Enemy Action, I don't know, Market Garden or whatever it is. But I love this game. I love this design. I mean, Joe's tried to take this to a different, a new level and whatever. And you know, fair enough. I think it could achieve it. It's really just the rules. You know, it's really just getting all these things right. You know, obviously, I think a lot of players come on these games, they sit down, they play it. I mean, that Hex Encounter guy that played through it, I think a lot of people just they're not really bothered too much about the rules. They want to keep it simpler, they want to play it through and whatever. So I guess that's why these games, they move along, they tick along. I guess that's why Iwo Jima came out. Some people did play it. I was looking back, there's 2 playthroughs. Jeff did a big, huge playthrough on it. I didn't watch it all. I'd be interested to watch it because his videos are good, and I just think he'd a little bit better care taken of the rules. But again, I think a lot of players are like that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people just like to play the game, and you know, if a little niggly bit comes along, they just move on with it. They just do it. So, you know, maybe I'm in the minority here, and I just want to understand the rules properly. I don't want to say, oh yeah, well, I'll just do that. You know, you're actually seeing me doing things like that within this game because I wouldn't have got to part 20 or 21, whatever I said I was at. Because I would have just, I would have had to stop. You know, so there's some bits that I'm just saying, right, I'm going to just assume that's, I hate that. I don't like that. I want to, I mean, any match in Kharkov, I played through it. Did I have questions to ask? Of course I did. Did we compile a list of questions for the designer, Mr. Butterfield? Did he answer them all? Yeah. Did he answer them clearly and we were then able to move on? Most of them. There was two or three cases where, you know, I don't want to start mentioning rules numbers, or it might. And yes, some things come in it. I'm not saying they can't be flawless. I mean, and you can't sort of say, well, that's a playtester's fault either. But some of the stuff, it baffles me. Yeah. Okay, right, Grant. That's 11 minutes. Nonsense. I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to just start again and not show this part. But well, I'll carry on, and what I might do here is just have a little pause so that I can cut all this 11 minutes out. I've had a couple of drinks, yes, but I'm not like away with it. I've been in worse states when I've been recording a video anyway, that's for sure. So yeah, anyway, okay. Right, let's move on. Let's try and play the scenario out. What I'm going to do here is hopefully have a nice Japanese fire phase. When I say nice, it's never very pleasant, but I enjoyed the Japanese fire phase in the last turn. It was good. Whether that meant it was good for me or not, I mean, it's always going to be nasty, but I mean, remember, we got the event, although we've got this event, remember the event we had the last time, remove all disruption. I'm like, oh, that's so deflating. But that doesn't bother me about the game. You know? I'm fine to get to get a beating. I don't mind getting beaten up here. You know, I expect it from a DDAC game. It's not that's a problem. It's when I have to stop and sort of say, well, what does that mean? And why is that like that? And just rules. Again though, like I was talking about Jeff's playthrough, a big, huge playthrough he done on Iwo Jima. I don't know what the final outcome was, but I mean, he played right through it, big style. I mean, I think I've seen a comment on his on quite recently about Omaha Beach being one of his favourite games. So he likes the game as well. And I think he can get past this a little bit. You know, just move on. And yeah, I wish I could be like that, but I'm not. You know, I'm a perfectionist, sort of. That doesn't sound right, but I like to get everything done properly. Okay, Grant, well, get on with it then. Nobody's wanting to... Right, we've got an event to do here. A Japanese reinforcements event, right? And we're not going to start harping on about all that again. We're going to carry it out as it's written in the back of the event descriptions. I either do that way or look at 9.3. So but I feel... Well, you could pick either one, I suppose. This is new to me. 9.3 in this rulebook is not new to me. It's pretty much as it is in Omaha Beach, pretty much, not word for word. Tarawa changed things up a little bit. It's pretty much word for word in Peleliu. Iwo Jima, it does look slightly different. It looks like a pretty much copy and paste from Peleliu. So, but this is new. So where has this came from? This is different. So I'm going to go by this. So I'm going to add one Japanese unit. Now, what I'm also going to do is, because, again, well, it doesn't really say it here, Grant, and you're saying you're going to follow this. I'm going to add a depth marker as well, because I think every time you bring a reinforcement in, it comes in with a depth marker, right? So, yeah. So, adjacent to US unit, if more than one such position exists, choose the position with the fewest adjacent US units, and then ties between that are going to be random. Well, I'll tell you what, we might need to look about a little bit for this. So I'll pause the camera and have a little look at these position hexes that are adjacent. I'm going to make sure they're in communication as well. Doesn't really talk about that there as well, which, yeah. Yeah, it starts making me think maybe I should be looking at 9.3, but no, I'm going to stick with that. Because it's written in the back of the book as event descriptions. I mean, if it said something like Japanese reinforcements, right, what happens is you're going to bring a Japanese reinforcement reserve unit into play with it. Well, actually, it doesn't say a depth marker, and it's going to come in somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And then refer to 9.3, how you go about it. It doesn't say that. It gives you the rule. It tells you what to do. In Japanese tank attack there. It tells you what to do. Draw one card, blah, 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 blah. I mean, these are all events. I mean, admittedly, Japanese tank attack, that event isn't in the rules. Whereas the reinforcement has some rules. But the rules are regarding drawing an event that triggers a reinforcement event. Reserve unit placement triggered. Oh, grand. Right, stop. Okay, I'm going to go by what's in the back of the book. Right, I'll pause it now. Okay, I started picking some out, and it's actually a bit clearer than I thought, I think. I started up here, and there's 6 units. I wasn't counting the actual regimental HQ here. So we're looking, it needs to be adjacent to US units, a position. I'm going to say it needs to be in communication, because that seems a bit daft. Although it doesn't say it in the back of the book there. And then it's looking for the least amount of US units. And like I say, I didn't count the regimental HQ. Well, there's 6 there. But as I then came down to this red and blue position, there's 2 units adjacent here. This has got a step loss. So, well, actually, no, that's wrong. That's going to be 4, grand. So we'll take that 4 away, and then that's going to be 2. Because I wasn't counting these. So there's 2 in here. So this is in communication and adjacent to only 2 units. And then as we come further down, you can see this position is like more than 2. And then thankfully, which we didn't really want, this position is more than 2 as well. And I think that's it. So maybe it wasn't as brutal as I thought it was going to be. So that'd be too many. That'd be too many. I can't see any other ones. So it looks like this is a target. This red position. So I'm going to randomly draw a reserve unit and a depth marker for there. Okay? Right. Well, let's just do it. Well, I'll grab the depth marker first, right? And I need to make that way so we don't see it. That's right. So that goes in there, and then we hopefully don't draw that tank that's in there. And no more of the 4 elites either. Yeah, we got lucky with that result, didn't we? Right, so this is going to be face down as well, which is that way. That is not a tank, so good. Because the tank's got it's got an image on both sides, isn't it? It lets you know it's a tank right away. Okay, so that's our reserve. That's our Japanese reinforcement event after all that. And yeah, that's our event. Right, let's go Japanese fire phase. I'm going to chuck this out. Probably that'll take me to the end of the night because, yeah, it is getting a bit late. So we're going to start up in this area. Now we have some disruption this time. I see 4 positions that are disrupted. No, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So and as for lettered actions, we've moved on to turn 4 there, but the next lettered action doesn't kick in until turn 5. In fact, both the A and the I action kick in on turn 5. So we're exactly the same. We've got the leader hits, we've got the M action, and we've got the R action. Yeah, it reminds me, Martin commented on, you know, my slight sort of doubt about the mortar fire and the fact it had to be, and he did spell it out, it does say it on the fire action summary. However, sometimes Grant can just read these things and see something different, you know. It does say Japanese position must have non-destroyed artillery, and I think when I read that at first, I thought, oh, the actual position that's firing has to have artillery. Well, that's ruled out then, because there's no artillery in that. And then I read it again, and then read it in a different way, and thought that it maybe meant that a Japanese position has to have artillery. I know it sounds weird, but the thing that backed it up was the fact that there's only 4 hexes on the map. That if it was done that way, there's only 4 hexes on the map that mortar fire could actually happen. And I thought that just seems a bit limited, you know. It doesn't seem right. And I said that to him. I also said that, yeah, I think I'm just my way of reading things. What he did say was, and it's something I was thinking about, don't know if I mentioned that or not. I actually don't think it did, but previous game, Iwo Jima, I think, had far more artillery positions. Yeah, I seem to remember that quite a lot, and it was done slightly differently. So, again, it's kind of been like brought over from that, but it kind of makes the mortar action a bit. Mortar used to happen quite a lot in the older games, but so yeah, it's not going to happen very much in this game. Okay, right. So we've still got the M and the R. So yeah, it's just the same as last turn. So right, let's get not the first card, Grant. You just get 1 card for this. So let's see, Japanese fire. Right, well we have the R again. And we've got a diamond. So we've got yellow, red and blue firing. So red and blue, which didn't fire last time. That reinforcement, yeah, I always start looking about something. That reinforcement came in red. It's just going to fire as normal, but remember it's got depth, so it's going to hit 2 things. Yuck. Right, okay. And I commented the colours the last time were pretty good, so we've got, I think we had yellow the last time, we did not have red and blue. So the only lettered action that's going to affect is the blue R. Okay, so let's start looking around then. Well, we've got blue position there to start with, and that is an R. So, right, well, get your, what we're looking for again. Is that the, yeah, that's it, on that fire action somewhere. So, the R action, does it have US, it's occupied, yeah. Does it have US units in its field of fire? It does. I think it's only this guy though. Oh no, my bad, it's not, it's that one. I think it was the yellow position that I was thinking about. Blue might go in here then as well. Oh, yuck, it does. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and they're all intense as well. So yes, there is US units in the field of fire. For the R action, resupply. If no depth marker, and it does not, is present, add depth marker to Japanese occupied position, then fire. So that's what it's going to do. It's going to hit 2, and that's a random depth marker there. It's a bit of stretch up to that part of the map. So, and then it's going to hit what? Diamonds. And that's a circle. There's a diamond, so pretty sure that's getting hit. They're both triangles, because they're all intense here. It's looking for another diamond. Nope. Nope. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's not so bad. And it is unrevealed, so we're going to get a couple of disruption markers. And we're looking for stat loss as well. Right, make sure you turn your engineer over that time. Grant. I forgot that last time. So he takes a hit. Well, this guy would take the hit first, really. But there's only 2 diamonds within the intense blue anyway. So that, and then, oops. that on top, and then our, yeah. And then here, this guy's going to take a step loss and a disruption. So that, and then, yeah, I don't know. I keep saying this is a bit that I could pause, couldn't I? It sometimes takes more time, like coming up and pausing rather than just bashing on. Okay, so that's that blue position done. Now the only empty positions we need to look at are blue. So, right, well next one to look at is blue as well, isn't it? Now I'm going from top to bottom. That's how I'm doing it. You know, left to right, top to bottom. So rather than look at the red first, there's the blue. I know this could have some issues in the past with the other games. I seem to recall, you know, because you could get units moving about, and then I think it might well tell you that a certain action needs to be done first. It's possible it might tell you in the book that, but when we get to lettered actions, but well, maybe you should have a look at that just in case. Well, see if the A was active right now, the A letter and the R letter. It might be that you might have to do one of them before the other. That's what I'm saying, and it might state that. Yeah, here we go. So page 24. Yeah, admittedly, I think I read through these at first when I first read the rules, but because I knew the lettered actions weren't kicking in right away, I wanted to get the game started. So maybe my bad for not explaining this better. 24. So this is 13 Japanese lettered actions. The very last bullet on page 24 is once lettered actions come into effect, the sequence in which you check Japanese positions for fire and actions may have an impact on play. Therefore, check all positions matching the first leftmost position colour on the card first, then all positions matching the second colour, then the third. Within a position colour, check all positions hexes in order from west, closest to you, to east. Okay, so maybe I should get in the habit of that then. So we're now going to go that way. But we're still going to move. Well, I'm going to move it from north to south. But like I was just saying, red is on the card first. So this red position, well, both ways. Red should be looked at first. And also, because we're going away from us, red would be looked at. So let's get in the habit of doing that anyway. If you do happen to keep things ticking over. It doesn't matter here, but you can imagine that if the A action was in effect right now, it might do something. You know, A can do things like assault, ambush, tank attack. So, and then R can resupply, redeploy, reinforce. You know, it can move about. So you've got to have an order for when it comes into that. So let's do the red first. It's just going to normally fire. It's only one unit, so looking for a diamond. That's steady actually. That's no fire. That's not red. Red here probably. Right, so we've got this LVTA in red. Down here? No, it's just the LVTA. Okay, so LVTA is only one an intense red fire, so no, hang on, Grant. Yeah, no, we look intense first before the symbol. I don't think there's probably much, even in steady. So this does take the hit because it's an intense red, and will. Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, I was right to re-look at that. That's got the. That's weird. You see, none of the LVTs had a division. He's got a division marker on the back. I can assume that's have I put him in the right bit? Yeah, I think it was there. It wasn't there, was it? It was there. So, and he's also disrupted. Is there another LVT about? I'm sure that's just some kind of glitch, isn't it? Anyway. Right, so only one hit for the red. So we've done that. Now the blue does not have anything in its field of fire. It's got, when we've got the R action. So it's wanting to try and redeploy, I think. It's occupied, no yes units, redeploy. It doesn't tell you the number of hexes, I think it's 3 in it. Within 3 hexes, and it needs to be moving closer. Well, you can see the only, well, apart from the ones up the back, this would be the only one it could redeploy to, but it's 1, 2, 3 hexes away from that. That's its closest, well, that one too. It can't get any closer by moving there, so it's going to do nothing. So then moving along, yellow, there's an empty yellow there. Brown, yeah. Well, there's a yellow in there, that's going to undisrupt. But we'll do that at the end. Hopefully I'll remember. I'll remember at some point, hopefully. So moving along, there's no brown. Okay, I'll bring the card into view a bit better. Just to remind us. There's no brown, there's no purple. Like I say, looking for blue. There's a blue without US units in its field of fire. Again, it would want to redeploy, but yeah, there's nothing within 3. It would be going back that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is his closest, so nothing doing there. Right, there's yellow here. So does that have anything? I don't think it does. 1, 2. You wonder about the beaches though. See, there's a yellow fire in there, but then that could probably come. Yeah, it's on that side, so it's coming from there, isn't it? Yeah, no, there's no yellow fire. This is one of the ones that just goes round about itself, doesn't go any further. Moving down, green. Oh, there's a blue, empty blue right there. Oh. Okay, this green doesn't work. So next this would be before looking at the green, I suppose. We've got this blue. However, I suppose red is first in line, isn't it? But then it's past the... How did it word it that? Check all positions matching the first leftmost position colour on the card first. Yeah, so in actual fact, I should be going along checking every yellow position and then coming back checking every red position and then coming back checking on every blue position. You'll see if there's going to be a clash. I know I've had it before. When there looks like there might be a clash or there is a clash, well, how you move it, then you will follow that order, okay? So, well, this might be one, potentially, I suppose, because it looks like we're going to place a reinforcement. So let's do the red fire first, because it's on the card, and this guy's got a depth marker. So he's going to dish out 2 hits. These are both stars. Ooh, yuck. Right. We're looking for diamonds though, Grant. That's intense. There's lots of intense here. That red comes from there though, but this red comes from there. The red that's in there comes from there, so that's okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got lots of choices here. Sorry, maybe I didn't have that. And yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these positions are in intense. So we're looking for diamonds. No. There's one. Okay, so we've got a diamond there. We need 2, don't we? There's 1. He's had a hat. What about here though, just in case we want to maybe... There's a tank down the bottom there. Well, yeah, no, we're not going to have the choice because it's symbol and then closest. So tank's further away anyway, isn't it? Is that right? Symbol, closest, steps. Symbol, closest, steps, and then your choice. Yeah, so these two are getting hit and disrupted. So we'll draw 1 for I32 first. Right. That's his step loss counter, and then A129. Draw a step loss counter for that. Right. So I'm going to disrupt both the units and tuck them down the bottom, and I'll just pause while I'm doing that. Okay, that's that dealt with. Right, now the blue position that's empty, and it's within 3, and it's in communication. So reinforce, place reserve unit with a depth marker and fire. So that's kind of why you had to do that first, because some of these positions might be in blue. Now we've also got to remember that these 2 disrupted units down the bottom have taken a hit, so my guess is blue might well fire into there, as it does, and into there. It does not. It's this blue that fires. Well, we'll get to that. However, they disrupted units have taken a hit. That's why I generally in the past turned the units, so to remember that they've taken a hit, because they can only take 1 hit within the fire phase. But the stacks are too big to mess about with all that. It's hard enough in the US action phase messing with that. But so we're going to randomly draw depth marker. And a reserve unit. That marker face down. There we go. Goes into B2. And another reserve. Again, stay face down. No tank. Okay. So, and then he's going to fire. He's going to hit 2. Looking for diamonds again. This is intense, this is intense. Yeah, this stack's intense as well. Not that one. So we've got, well, there's no diamond there, there's no diamond there. It's intense in there as well, there's no diamond in there. We know there's not a diamond in there because we looked already for red. And we know that there's 2 diamonds in there. Well, actually, blue doesn't fire into there, but it does fire into there. But it can't hit that guy, like I said. And it's wanting to hit 2. So I'm guessing there's a diamond in here. So we shall have a look. Okay, so there's the big selection of counters that we had. And oh God, Grant. Was it this position? Was it that? Why did you not mark it? Damn. Right, I'm pretty sure it's there because the regimental HQ was there, and he would want to be adjacent to the most he could. Well, actually, it must have been there because blue is not firing into there. So it is that hex. They're all in that hex, right? Tense blue, looking for diamonds. It's hitting 2. So it's got this and it's got this, and it's going to hit both of them. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Did I look at this? I see this is just steady blue. That is a diamond though. But I was just steady, so yeah, I forgot about that one. But all the rest that we looked at were intense. So this is a first hit. So we'll just chuck his step loss marker away. And right, what's the other step loss markers for that guy? Sorry, I've mixed them about. There we go. And he gets disrupted as well. And then, well, actually, no, the engineer's gone, isn't he? So the engineer gets eliminated. And they don't count to catastrophic loss, so no, I don't think so. Right, so put them back in the hex. I'll tidy things up there. So you can see there that if you hadn't noticed, because this infantry unit down the bottom that's a diamond, it's got more steps than... I mind you, it would go closest first, wouldn't it? So we'd have still targeted the engineer. Okay. Right, so we've done that red, that blue, that red up there is too far away. Remember, they're just firing. We do have yellow here. So, yeah, we've got blue here as well. Yeah. Yeah, not so good colours this time, I don't think. Right, well, yellow's first on the card, I suppose, so we should do the yellow fire. Remember, again, both these units down the bottom have been hit in this fire phase. Intense yellow into there, but we're not going to hit anything because we've already hit. And there was only one diamond in each hex. That's not yellow anyway. What about here though? Right, yellow fires into here. There's a diamond, the tank. So tank's going to take a hit. I think well, actually, no, that's not true. This stack. Right, the tank definitely takes a hit and is disrupted. So that's the first hit. Disruption marker, not that one there. So still looking at an intense yellow. We do have this guy who's 3 steps. He's 2 hexes away. This is 2 hexes away. That's the best you're going to get. Don't think yellow goes into there. Nope. And it doesn't go into there. We checked, and it doesn't go into there. So it's either here or here. They're both as close. So we're looking at most steps now. I better remind myself that that's right, mind you. Yeah, so closest, most step. Well, symbol. Well, intensity of the fire dot. Then symbol, then closest, then steps, then your choice. So both of these are as close. This has got 3 steps. What else we got in here? Hopefully we've not got a 4-stepper. These 3 steps as well. So it's going to be our choice between this one and the infantry unit in there. I don't think it makes much odds, does it, Grant? No, not really. So I think I'll just take the hit on this guy. So he's going to flip and become disrupted as well. So both these units are disrupted. I'll just stack them and put the disruption on top. Yeah, that means it targeted the same hex twice, but I think that's okay. I think it just can't hit the same unit twice. Okay, and that was that yellow? And we've now got blue? Really? It was, wasn't it? So blue's got depth as well. Now, does it get across at all? No. No, this blue fire's coming from there, and that blue fire's coming from there, yeah. Okay, so it doesn't get across to there. So blue wanting to dish out 2 hits as well. Both of these have been hitting here. They were intense. That's intense. So we're going to get a hit in there. Where you going, Grant? That's blue. No. It's just that hex, actually. Ah, it's going to get our leader. RHQ in it. Yeah, it is. So the first hit is to... Well, hang on. Yeah, because that guy's been hit in the fire phase. So the first hit is to this guy, B129. So I'm going to flip him over. And he's going to be disrupted as well. So he's just going to go down here. In fact, probably want to put him in the bottom because he's the weakest. Oop. Yeah. And then disruption on top. However, that step loss goes away. We still need to dish out another hand. I think he's the only one we can go for, because these are both being hit. Do we get a choice at all in this matter? Yeah, I don't think there's much I can do about that, because it does say a US unit may not lose more than one step in a single Japanese fire phase, even if hit by multiple positions. So it's not really giving you the out there. The only one was about taking disruptions, but... Well, hang on here. Hang on here. Can I sneak... You wouldn't have thought so, but... These two are disrupted, right? I've got one more hit to dish out. An intense blue. Now, I know I can disrupt 2 units. Hang on, I think it's worded in a way that I might be able to get away with this, to be honest. Oh, hang on though. Yeah, no, we're not. We've not got the symbol. There's no symbols involved here. We've run out of that. There's too much fire going round about there. You know, there's no diamonds left there that we could hit. Even, you know, if you come back to the red position, this is stars, triangles. You know, it's not that we could readjust the way we're hitting things. That's a circle. You know, there's not any diamonds left. So let's just see this bit that you can... What can you do? Where is it? Wait a minute. There we go. Page 12, 6.3.4. Step loss due to Japanese fire. The US unit hit by fire may suffer a 1 step loss as noted on the Japanese fire chart. The player may choose to disrupt 2 units in the target hex instead of taking a step loss if no unit in that hex has the same fire symbol as a drawn fire card. And then it says units that are not disrupted must be chosen prior to any units that are already disrupted. Right, I think there's a problem with that though. But I don't know how to get about it, because it says the player may choose to disrupt 2 units in the target hex instead of taking a step loss. Okay. So I'm trying to avoid taking... Let me spread this out. Okay, there we go. Right, the sugar cubes where the units are. This is what units we've got. These 2 are disrupted already. These 2 have both taken hits. And that's Japanese fire phase. This guy's the guy that's left. Now what I'm wanting to see if I can do is select to disrupt both these units. Now the way it's worded tells me that I could do that, because it says units that are not disrupted must be chosen prior to any units that are already disrupted. So if I choose to disrupt this and disrupt that, it's a kind of wee loophole really, because they're already disrupted. However, the problem with that is the start of this says it says the player may choose to disrupt 2 units in target hex instead of taking a step loss if no unit in that hex has the same fire symbol as a drawn fire card. So this has a symbol which tells me I cannot do the disrupt. But I'm wondering the fact that this has been hit, if that's relevant. Because I think what it's trying to say there is, look, if fire comes into this hex and there's a diamond in there, then you can't do the disrupt. You've got to take the hit on the diamond. However, we're kind of in a different position right now because the diamond's already been hit, the triangle's been hit. We're trying to avoid a hit on this. Can be selected disrupt. I'm going to say that I can't do that, but wonder what your thoughts are on that. And I'm going to take the hit on the HQ. And it will be disrupted as well, sadly. Just with that, I think the fact that diamond's in the stack tells me I can't do it, but I'm just wondering if the way it's meant would let me allow to do it. It doesn't seem right that you can do it anyway when both the units are disrupted, but it does talk about it in a way that sounds like that could have happened. Okay. Anyway, I'll take the hit and we'll take the disruption, and yeah, this is getting worse, isn't it? This is a bad fire phase. Much worse than the last one anyway, up to now. Okay, so I think we're about to move on to the other side, so hopefully things might get slightly better. Yeah, because we've done that yellow, done that blue, and then, well, there's nothing more. Well, we're coming across. I'll move the card a bit. Well, the next one, well, actually, it's not the blue, it's the yellow here. If we're going to do it in that order, and yeah, well, actually, yellow's on the card. That was the important bit, wasn't it? Well, I suppose that blue's being looked at first, and actually, he could. Well, it's not really looked at first because we already said we should be looking at the yellow, but you know what? He's going to redeploy because this nearest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he moves there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going to redeploy. Yeah. And now we'll look at this yellow. It's going to fire. It's looking for diamonds and intense. That's intense. That's steady. That's steady. This has got to be intense, you would think. Oh, that's steady. It's got a diamond in it too. Oh, don't take that. Well, at least he's face up. We're not getting disrupted this time. Now, hang on. He's bound to go down into here, I think. No, it's not. Yeah, we chart with the colours on it. And that's what they had in Iwo Jima, innit? To show you all the dots. It would have been handy here. That's steady there, I can just see it. That's steady. That's nothing. Yeah, I mean, that is our only intense. So it's going to take that heavy weapons unit. Which is a bit of a bummer. However, well, yeah, it's not good, but so he takes a hit, but he's not disrupted. Oh yeah, his firepower gets cut in half. Oh no, he takes a step counter, Grant. His firepower gets cut in half. It's not quite that vicious. And remember, he still keeps his range. Oh, he's adjacent to the unit he's interested in anyway. But okay, so that's his step loss. But he's lost some weapons, so. Okay, and then the blue. Now, does he have... I don't think he has units in field of fire. No. No, so no US units in field of fire. Well, he's wanting to redeploy as well, isn't he? He's not going to be able to, I don't think. Yeah, and while we're looking there's a couple... Oh, actually, no, that moved out of that. That's an empty blue, but remember, it's got to be within 3 to be considered for reinforce. That can't redeploy, it's nowhere to go. Because going there, it's 1, 2, 3 away from that. Going there is not getting closer. So no, that's not going to do anything. Right, moving along. That red is disrupted. That will undisrupt shortly. We've got brown there, purple, red up there, empty red up there, but it's just going to fire. Blue's too far away. Yellow would just fire. Right, this blue here does not have units in its field of fire. It can't get closer either, can it? Moving, knocking counters again. Yeah, it's been a bit easier going on this side of the map, innit? Oh, we're not finished yet. We've got that blue down there. So where are we? Brown, blue, too far. I can't get closer. Purple, green, brown, empty, red. That'll undisrupt. Yeah, well, that'll undisrupt. Right, we've got 2 blue positions here. We'd be looking at this one first. This one does have units in field of fire. It's already got a depth marker, so it's going to fire. It doesn't build depth because it's already got it, so it's going to fire twice. This is intense. This is intense. This is not. So it's just these 2 hexes. So it's looking for a couple of what is it? Diamonds. So let's look. Right, wait till I'll pause. Well, actually, there's not a diamond in there. Well, we might revisit though, I suppose. Okay, and then this is the only other potential hex. So no disruption in this as well, which is a bit of a... And there's no diamonds in that either. Okay. So, yeah, because we've still got to pick from intense fire. So this is going to be the closest hex. So it's going to hit 2 units in this hex. So it's going to look for the most steps. Which is a bit of a bummer because, well, this was a strong hex, I know that. It was like 7 strength, wasn't it? And it's going to lose its disruption, so this could be bad. So we've got that, that's got a step loss. And then the disrupted side of things is that's got a step loss. So yeah, this is 3 steps, this is 3 steps. They're both going to take the hits, and this one's going to join that one disrupted, and we're only going to have the headquarters. So yeah, they're both step markers are going away, and they're both getting flipped over, Grant. And they're both disrupted. So it's just the leader on his own, the headquarters infantry unit on his own, able to, well, it's not going to be able to do anything about that, I don't think, unless it gets some range support, but not so sure that's going to be. So that was that done, disrupted there, yep. Red, nothing in it. This blue, however, doesn't have units as field of fire, but it can get close, so it's going to redeploy to the red position now. Yeah, that's it. And that's us. That blue position empty was too far away. Actually, maybe I'm lying. There's a blue way up there. Can it reach? No, it can't. 1, 2, 3, 4 away. It's just it wants to get closer if it can, but it's not got a hex within 3. It's not got a position within 3 that would get it closer. Well, it's not got a position within 3 that's empty. Full stop. Okay. Right, I think that's it. Well, it was much worse up the north for the 2nd division. Not quite as brutal for the 4th, but yeah, it's still... Right, oh yeah, disruption removal. Right, so we've got yellow, red and blue. So you can see that most of the disruption's going away. That's yellow, that's red. And that's red. That was brown, so that's staying down. And that's yellow. That's the CC one. So I think we had 5, I took 4 off. Yeah, just got brown disrupted still, just 1 disrupted Japanese unit. Right, that's the Japanese fire phase over. I should leave the card there. Suppose you might leave the event there as well. I think I might leave the landing cards in there as well, but yeah. So no second event. We're on the US action phase. So this would be the last action phase of the first scenario. So what do you think about getting up to that line now then? To be honest, the counter-attack guy, no counter-attack, hex and counter guy, he's done better than me, but then he was maybe aiming to try and get to that line, whereas I'm like, no, we'll not bother with that. We'll try and get this line and we'll count points around this line because that line is ridiculous and cannot be the true goal of this scenario or campaign for that matter. It's just there's a misprint somewhere. And if Joe if he had only looked at Martin's question properly and then looked at the map and then looked at the setup display, and he might have realised that, I mean, unless he is serious about that being that, but I'll tell you what, if that's the case, I want somebody to come and play the game. I'll give them the deck to look at openly, deck of cards. They can pick whatever card they want, and I bet they'll still not get 24 victory points. Honestly, you could pick whatever cards you wanted. Okay, maybe, maybe you could manipulate something that was ridiculous, but I'd be surprised if you could even do that. If you could even pick there are 54 cards in that deck. You pick whatever one you want for each of your 4 Japanese fire phases, and even other things. Each of your 4 events as well. 3 events you would only get them. And I bet you still can't get there. So that's why I don't believe it's right. I'm sure we'll get that clarified. I'm sure that will have to come along because, yeah, it's going to come out. Okay, going to leave it at that. There's just an hour. Not so much ranting there. Apologies for the first 15 minutes of me going on. I might revisit that. I'll certainly look over it because, I did have a bit of a strop earlier on and came back and then tried to calm things down a bit and blathered on for about 15 minutes about some rubbish, really, probably. Okay, so one more US action phase to go. And then that would be that. So, yeah. So you still get back tomorrow. And I'm sure, every day I've got up just now, I'm eager to keep going. It's just, I get stumped every day. I've sat down, I've got stumped with something, and the frustration builds up. And also the fact that, like I say, Joe's sort of not around right now as well, which give him his due. He was answering questions. Just, I wish he would maybe try and put a bit more thought into the questions and make sure that the answer is something that we're going to be happy with, and not have to reply again and say, yeah, but that's, very brief sort of answers he's given. But anyway. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to come back and finish the scenario. So I think when I logged off from the last part, I was saying, well, I might not be back here. It might be something else. Because I was just getting that frustrated, I think. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, cheers.